nothing but the dog in me.
Why must I chase the cat?
Good evening and welcome to Posse Presents. I want to start the evening with an apology. It's been one heck of a week. My computer, which has made all kinds of threats for months, finally died last Saturday, right after I prepared everything for the show. And so I was able to get like all of Patty's pictures and get everything all set. And then it crashed, and so I turned it off. And when I went home, it never would turn back on. So I have been unable to load last week's show. That would mean, obviously my computer's still broken, but I haven't been able to connect with anybody who was available to load the show for me. So it is still not up. So I apologize to those of you who have been looking for it. And mostly I apologize to Patty and Dice, because that's kind of an awful thing, when you on the show and you want to see it and your friends want to see it. So I am working on that. There were some obstacles for hooking up with anybody who could help me out with that. If you're someone who can help me out with that, let me know. But it's just going to take a few hours on a computer to upload. But in any case, that's where we're at for those of you who flip back and forth too between being able to watch live and watching the show. Fortunately, I do have a computer to use, so I'm back online. Tonight's show was in jeopardy with that because really, where do I get all my stuff but off the internet for the most part. So at least I have a computer to use, and I'm grateful to someone who took an awful long drive to meet me to hand over a spare. Because I'm not going to lie, I was going crazy. The internet is a habit, and, my animals are important to me, the ones that, I advocate for and, that I like to share and post. And, certainly my column was, ticking down to where I was going to be in trouble with that. So I finally got an article out today, which was good, saved myself. But I know that there is someone who offered to look at my computer for me to see if we can get that anywhere. So I will be doing that soon, but this particular computer that I'm using will not upload the show for me. So that's where we're at with that. And again, I apologize most of all to Patty and Dice, because that's awful. I do. I feel so bad. But I do have to say that I've never been a real big fan of Comcast, and I'm not going to lie. But I've hit some of the right people this week when I needed help with a couple of things. And so I have to give them props for stepping up their game and making customer service a lot better, because it made a big difference. And I got the right person at the right time, because I couldn't get this loaner computer to connect with the internet, and they talked me through that. And that was a beautiful thing. So I don't know. For me, it's just been a crazy week. And again, my apologies for not being on top of my game. But, we are in a technologically dependent age, and that's what happens. Anyway, on with the show. Enough of my rambling, because I can do that. And I think anybody who watches on a regular basis knows that I can ramble. And we'll leave that alone. I hear Zach in the control room, and he just needs to hush. I don't know what he's saying, but I hear him. Huh? Yes, hush my child, don't you cry, or I'll give you a reason to, like they said back in my day, yeah. So I want to wish a very special young lady a very happy birthday. Laurel Cox, who has been on the show before. She brought Addie. She brought Moo. She was on with our good friend Mark Sheehan. She's a very, very special person to me, and she's a very special person to the show. She's very special to a lot of people, particularly the City of Hartford Animal Shelter. Today is her birthday, so happy birthday, Laurel. And she's just gone through a devastating loss of one of her babies. And I know that she's having a really hard time with that. So I just want to send you all my love, my condolences, and I know that your heart will heal, although it will take time. I sure know the feeling, but I hope that in spite of it all, you were able to enjoy your day today. And I know that we are talking about having Moo come back on because she's got some excitement in her world, and hopefully we can do that soon. So Laurel, who loves you, and again, hope you got to enjoy your day in spite of it all. I want to bring to your attention a couple of events that are going to take place before I'm on the air again, because I don't want you to miss a good time. The first one is happening tomorrow between noon and 5, and it's the Pet Rock Festival. It is going to be held at the Sturbridge Host Hotel in Sturbridge, Mass. And if anybody kind of knows me and my thing for Juno, that's where she hails from. So yes, that's no surprise. Juno and Bert and Thomas and Wyatt will be there, along with Madison from Madison's Mission and Gizmo from Gizmo's Friends. They will be there working to help make the event a success. It's basically, it looks really cool. I wish that I could go, and I posted on my Facebook page that, you know, my truck won't make it, but I'll go in on cost. If anybody wants to go, just let me know. I would really like to attend, but there will be vendors and raffles and all kinds of demonstrations. There's contests. This is cool. There's going to be a vegetarian food court. I've never heard of an event doing that, but this is very much a situation where they promote the wellness and the welfare of all animals. So it sounds like a dream. They have all kinds of animal rescues that are going to be there. It all benefits many causes, very good ones. And it seems like the kind of day that, you know, whether you're a pet lover or not, you're going to really enjoy. There's live music. I guess there's some local bands playing who sound like they're big deals. I was reading up all of the event on Facebook and the page, and it really sounds awesome. And you can look up Pet Rock Festival on Facebook. There is an event that you can go to. I think there's more information, though, on the Facebook page about it. If you are interested, I would definitely check it out. That was my article today. I wrote an article about this, and so that's up there on all the usual places if you need more information and the contact information. But it sounds like something that would be enjoyable for everyone. I know that you can bring your dogs, but they must be on a leash at all times and well-behaved. You know, that's always a sticking point, the well-behaved dog on a leash at an event. Don't forget, if you do take your dogs to stuff like that, bring water. This is a pet-friendly, very pet-friendly environment. I'm sure they'll have provisions for you. But, you know, don't stay out in the sun too long. Don't walk them on hot pavement. Make it as enjoyable for them as it would be for you. And if anybody goes, let me know how it went, because I'm sure it's going to be a great time. Like I said, hint, hint, I would love to go, but we're going to leave that alone for now. The other event is for Bikers Against Animal Cruelty. That is going to be next Saturday. It's their annual rodeo, and we did talk about that a little bit when they were on the show a few months ago. And this is their big one. This is their biggest event all year. It's, like I said, next Saturday the 13th from 1 until 6. There's going to be food and beverages, vendors, live entertainment, raffles, and adoptable pets, and all kinds of other events that go on with the motorcycles, contests and stuff. I think it sounds like awesome. I've never been to that. Like I said, it's their biggest event of the year. So I know they're really excited, and they do a lot of planning for this one. I am going to try to get to that. Again, if anybody wants a passenger, hint, hint, you can holla. I will have to leave to come and do the show. I'll have to be ready well ahead of time, which, you know, me and time is not exactly, it's not a beautiful thing, but I'll manage. Speedo, you can laugh all you want. Anyway, The Bikers Against Animal Cruelty Rodeo is going to be held in Wallingford, and it's at 171 North Plains Industrial Road. So if anybody's interested in attending that, I did share that event on the Pound Posse Presents page, so you can check it out accordingly, or just check out their pages and find out more. And hopefully I will make it there and see you all. And I was gonna try to have them come on tonight, but they're not available because we talked about it, having them come on to promote it, but they're very busy. And, you know, God bless them for all they do, and wish them a lot of success at the event. I have a list of dogs once again tonight who need your good graces, your sharing, your homes, your efforts. And we're going to start with O. Henry in New London. He is now urgent. Look at that, Zach's right on the money, just pulling up those pictures tonight. This is O. Henry. Now, this poor guy was found tied up near the railroad tracks on a rope that was too short for him to even sit down. This poor dog was terrified. Now, can you imagine? I can't. He's come around some, thanks to the ACO. She is wonderful there in New London. But he was very scared and unsure, and he needs a little bit of work. He's handsome. He's gorgeous. I mean, just look at him. He's got just that face that you want to smooch and you want to hug him and love him and call him George, you know, like the Looney Tunes thing. But he looks like an absolute love. He just needs a little work, and they're actually hoping that a rescue would step up for him and get him through some training and get him prepared to be in a home. You know, I mean, he's clearly been through something aside from having been abandoned in such a barbaric fashion. And he needs a little fine tuning. You know, some dogs do. And that's not a crime. And people need to understand that when they take a dog in. It's not, you know, it's not like a premix or a ready to eat, you know, kind of thing. You've got to like put in the love and the elbow grease and all that to get these dogs in a better place. So he is about 9 months old, and he weighs about 50 pounds, and he's very food motivated. So, you know, he's probably staring somebody down for a treat in that picture, and that's all good too, you know. Dogs that are food motivated will, you know, do a lot for a treat. So it's all good. If you are interested in O. Henry, if you're with a rescue, if you can do anything at all to help this guy out, give New London Animal Control a call. Their number is 860-447-5231. And that brings us to another urgent, and that would be Hunter in Bristol. And look at that dog, is beautiful. He is urgent because he is just not faring well in the shelter environment, and we talk about dogs that can't handle it all the time. He's lost weight. I mean, he looks pretty good there, but they're saying that he's gotten very ribby. He's jumping wildly to get out of his pen. He just wants out. And he's a very high energy dog, but he's very sweet. And once he gets the zoomies out, or whatever, you know, as you would call them, he just wants to snuggle. So, you know, unfortunately, he's been turning people off because they see this like wild and crazy dog. And, you know, that happens a lot too. These dogs are in the shelters and they're cooped up and they're overstimulated by the very fact that there's people there. And so they get all, you know, oh, look, it's people. Oh, my God. And they want to play and they want to run around and they get all crazy. And, you know, most people are just like, yeah, no, that's a little too much for me. But they don't hang out long enough with the dog to, and really some of the shelters just aren't set up to put the dog out, let it run, play with it, you know, let it calm down. And just see, wow, this is just a really cool dog. And that's exactly the case with this guy. I mean, he just, you know, if they knew someone was coming to look at him and they could just throw him out and play with him for a little bit and get him tired out and be a mellower dog, I'm sure that there'd be more interest in him, because he's just A, not liking being cooped up, and B, not getting the attention and the exercise that he's so clearly craving. Yeah, it's exactly. So, you know, I don't know, they're hoping maybe a rescue will step up for him and get him into a foster home with a fenced-in yard, something where he can just, again, decompress. He needs a little work. I mean, he's a good dog, and he deserves a chance. There's no reason why he won't fit in somewhere. He's just, like I said, putting people off because he's just too overbearing at first. And I've seen that so many times in the pounds and the shelters. I mean, you know, being cooped up and not being in a routine and part of it, they just get overwhelming when they see people. They want the attention, they want the love, they want to run, they want to jump. It's typical, and you just have to understand it's not going to stay like that. You know, very often a dog, the way you see a dog in the shelter, whether they're good or bad, is not going to be the way they are at home. And truthfully, at home, they can be good or bad. But it's you've got to give them the chance to get it out of their system, to learn a routine, to understand that, you know, this is home and this is how things are. He's just a handsome young dog. They say he's a Vizsla mix, and, you know, he deserves the chance. He deserves that understanding. You know, someone who can match his energy and just do the right thing by him and get him settled in. Another one who just kind of needs maybe a stepping stone to being able to fit into a home. And a lot of these dogs, unfortunately, are put in this position where if they go straight into a home, they might be set up to fail, because they're not going to show their true colors right away, and people expect like that perfect family dog the minute it walks in the door, and that's not necessarily reality. So anyway, if there's anything you can do for this handsome guy, he is in the Bristol Animal Control, and the email that you can contact someone is friendsofbristolanimalshelter@gmail.com. That's all run together like one word, friendsofbristolanimalshelter@gmail.com. So I know we mentioned a couple weeks ago that Bridgeport was full, and they've managed to tread water, I guess, but they are full. And so we've got a few dogs we're going to show from Bridgeport, and we're going to start with Flora. Now, Flora is a cute little thing, but she has some fear aggression, and she needs a patient and understanding home. You know, God knows what she's been through, and it's sad. You know, you've got a dog in an environment that's loud and crazy and noisy, and they hear all the other dogs, and, you know, she's got strangers coming in to try to handle her, so she's going to be on the defensive. You know, the smaller you are, the bigger a world it is, and the more scary it can be. So, you know, again, who knows what her background is. She needs someone who will give her space. She needs someone who will understand her. She probably definitely does not belong in a home with children, unless they're much older and not the kind that are going to run around, move quickly, and scare her even more. But I'm sure she's a wonderful dog once you kind of get to know each other. And unfortunately, she is just the kind of dog that a shelter won't hold on to if they're full. So read between the lines. If she doesn't find her angel soon, she probably is not going to have that chance. So if you're someone who can work with her, if you're a rescue that can pull her, if you're just, you know, an individual who has a calm and quiet household where you can let her figure out that the world is not out to get her, then you are probably her best bet, and probably her only bet. The next one we have in Bridgeport is Minnie. Minnie is gorgeous. And there's always that thing, black dogs and brindle dogs are the last ones to be adopted for whatever reason. They're the ones that catch my eye, so I don't necessarily understand that. Black dogs, they say, are invisible, and brindles are, I don't know why. I think maybe it's because people think they look too tough, or they look too pitty. I mean, I don't get it. My bocce boy is a brindle shepherd, and I think he's mixed with pit, because if you put a shepherd head and shepherd hair on that dog, you'd probably have bocce. I mean, I swear he's shepherd pit. He's brindle. He's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and I think brindle is just amazing. So for whatever reasons, Minnie has been there since March, and that's why I'm going into this whole rant about black dogs and brindle dogs. They end up sitting there, and it's really sad. Now, she's had an abused past, but she is a very loving and forgiving dog, and she's a little angel. And unfortunately, she too is starting to stress out at the shelter. And I can't imagine how these dogs must feel being on the cold concrete floor, behind bars, without a comfy couch, with any of the attention that the shelter staff can give these dogs. It's still not being home, So she is in dire needs. We also have Flash. Now, Flash, this is a killer picture. Unfortunately, he's young. He needs some TLC. He needs some training. He was adopted and returned. And, I think it was that whole, he didn't get the chance to decompress thing. And that seems to be the theme with, like, all of these dogs tonight. But Flash is certainly deserving. And, he needs that home that is going to just help him out. He's a really good boy. And he needs a little leg up, so to speak, or a paw up like he has up on the cage. So Bridgeport Animal Control, their number is 203-576-7727. Once again, that's 203-576-7727. So then we move on to Meriden Animal Control, and we have Pebbles. And Pebbles is an older girl. She's a 7-year-old. She's an absolute sweetheart. She was an owner surrender, and she's very sad, and I can understand that. It's one thing when a dog was, probably abandoned or let loose, or, left to fend for itself, tied up outside a shelter in the night type of thing. But, this was, her owner brought her there and left without her. And that has got to wear on a dog's psyche. It really does, 7 years old, she probably was with her family her whole life, and now she's like just sitting there not knowing why her owners aren't coming back for her. And, I just can't imagine the emotional factor on a dog like that. But she definitely does need a home. She deserves that comfy couch. 7, perfect age, probably pretty mellow, but a little spunk left. Not going to be a high maintenance dog as far as, the energy level. Give her a chance if you can. And the next one, also in Meriden, is Nikki. Now, here we go with the whole black dog syndrome again. Nikki's been there for 4 months. She cannot go to a home with cats, and she will do best with a mellow other dog. She's not good around high energy dogs. They really need to have her in a quieter dog situation. But she is also a really good girl, and she needs a chance. And as far as Nikki goes, a rescue has offered to pull her, but they need a foster home for her. And, again, another dog who just needs a little TLC, giving her a little understanding and time to decompress. These dogs really, Some of them have been through a lot, and again, some are more able to survive well in the shelter and swing that transition than others. So if you're someone who can foster her, that would be awesome. That would give her her chance to get out. And if you're interested in either one of the dogs at Meriden Animal Control, you can email paw364@yahoo.com. Once again, that's paw364@yahoo.com. And I will take the camera back, Zach. And the last item I have is the Meriden Humane Society is in need of a foster home for a pregnant cat. Now, this cat has had other litters, and they know that she's a good mom. She just really needs not to have to go through bringing up her litter in a shelter environment. You know, it's not the place. They would like for her to be in a home. They would like for her to have, you know, a quiet place. Hopefully somebody, you know, there are people who have this experience of, you know, bringing puppies and kittens into the world. So all supplies that will be needed to get the mom and the kittens through will be included, so that that's not, you know, doesn't have to be a problem for anybody who is interested and willing to step up and help this mama cat bring what is going to be her last litter into the world, because you know they'll do the right thing and make sure that she is spayed going forward. But if you can help out, the Meriden Humane Society would love to hear from you. That's 203-238-3650. And once again, that's 203-238-3650. Now, if you are in need of any more information, I'll have some of this stuff up on my Pound Posse Presents page. Unfortunately, I don't know when I'll be able to load the show, so it's not like I'm going to be able to share it so that you guys can share it until I get that aspect of my computer challenged life figured out. But don't laugh at me. It's been a rough week, folks. I'm going to whine like the one last time. Trust me, it's been rough. But for now, I'm going to not whine, and I'm going to say peace, love, and dogs until next week. I hope everybody gets to go and see some of these events and check out some of these places. And if you can adopt a dog and save a life, foster, share, do what you got to do. It all works. Thank you and good night.